video, do me a favor.
The DEA and local federal partners made entry around 3:45 local time. Drugs and weapons were seized, and more than 100 illegal aliens are now in custody facing potential deportation. So we are following this very closely here on Live Now from Fox about these arrests being made, this DEA in Colorado, as we have more video of it on Live Now from Fox. I want to give you more information as federal authorities announced that more than 100 illegal immigrants were detained.
You see all of those people out there feeling good, partying, doing drugs, got guns. There's more to this story, too.
In a massive raid in an underground nightclub, the Drug Enforcement Administration led a multi-agency operation early Sunday morning, arrested 114 illegal immigrants at the venue that contained more than 200 people. Authorities uncovered drugs, including pink cocaine, as well as evidence of prostitution and multiple firearms during the operation. Of course, we are following it on social media. They said those facts, that they have taken more than 100 illegal aliens into custody. Drugs and weapons also seized there at this operation. Attorney General Pam Bondi applauded the operation, which included 300.
You see the chicks that's for the streets? They there too.
Officials across multiple agencies, including the FBI, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearm, ATF. She said on social media this morning, the DEA apprehended those 100 illegal aliens at an underground nightclub frequented by TDA, Tren de Aragua, and MS-13 terrorists. Cocaine, meth, pink cocaine seized. 2 people were also arrested on existing warrants. She complimented the operation, the multi-agency operation, talking about this. So we're following that.
So basically what they did was they brought all of the stuff that they had going on outside of the United States into the United States, and they were still partying. See, what liberals won't tell you is that these people are not people that are just working and having a good time and working hard and adding value into the American system and paying taxes. Nah, they bringing in these hoes from the streets. They got drugs, they got guns. Who
Not the hoes from the streets.
the hell know where they got the guns from? Who the hell they know where they got the drugs from? But it is all interconnected. And if it wasn't a big deal, and if they were so legal, then why are they running out? And why do they have to do a multi-agency, you know what I'm saying, raid on the whole situation in order to make sure that we keep Americans safe? Now, these are the people that's going around and hanging out in your neighborhoods. Again, they got drunk, guns, drugs, the whole nine yards. But it's funny because you'll see people like AOC and Jasmine Crockett and Bernie Sanders and all of these people defend this type of behavior. Let's go over there to Colorado to see exactly what the DEA is saying and get more insight and information so we can better understand exactly how this thing is playing out.
So good morning, John Pullen with DEA and the Rocky Mountain Division. We're here on the scene of an underground nightclub where over 300 federal law enforcement, along with our local partners from El Paso.
Did they say 300? Was that how many law enforcement, or is that how many they arrested?
County and Colorado Springs PD executed an enforcement operation this morning. It's a drug investigation. We seized quite a number of guns and took a number of people into custody. I think what I'd like for people to know as a result of this operation is that Colorado Springs is waking up to a safer community today.
Jonathan, give us some perspective here. 300 law enforcement officers. What brought about this kind of requirement, this kind of need to be here with that show of force?
So this is an underground illegal nightclub, okay?
Well, they brought in 300 officers. I'm pretty sure they weren't dealing with 2 or 3 people. Duh.
And what was happening inside was significant drug trafficking, prostitution, crimes of violence. We seized a number of guns in there. We had active duty service members who were running security at the club and involved in some of these crimes. And in fact, we had over 100 illegal aliens.
They said they had active duty service members that were running security. And so they're not doing it by themselves. They're also getting help from
Informants. They had an informant is someone on the inside, you know, undercover.
people that are here that are active duty service members. That means that you got traders and people that are looking to profit. And we all know that profitability goes across the board. So it's a trickle down, right? Trickle down economics. But there are people that are profiting off of what is happening when it comes to these illegal migrants that's inside of this country. And they don't tell them how they was getting paid, what they was doing, and if they were willing to be active duty service members while at the same time running security at this illegal operation, then who can you trust? Why do you think that people are moving the way that they're moving inside of our country and thinking that it's okay?
Oh, wait, they weren't informants. They were turncoats. Or, no, they were, what they were, ICE or security for the government who were actually providing security for the nightclub. I see what he's saying now.
Inside as well, and those over 100 illegal aliens were taken into custody by ICE.
Active duty service members helping as security here. Can you elaborate on that at all?
So it's an ongoing investigation, but we had over a dozen active duty service members in the club tonight, either as patrons or working as armed security.
How many of those were detained, and what are they facing right now?
So Army CID was one of our partners out here, and they're going to work with us on what the next steps for those active duty service members looks like.
You mentioned that this is a drug trafficking operation. Can you elaborate on any drugs you found, the amount, any charges you anticipate that?
The reporters, they're like, why did you arrest some bad guys? What's your proof? What's your evidence? Like, lady, you know, let this go to trial or something.
Could come out of tonight?
So as you may suspect, when the cops showed up at the door, most of the drugs hit the floor. And we did find cocaine. It looks like some pink cocaine or the Tusi. And there's a little bit of other drugs, but we haven't had time to test everything. But there were dozens of small packages of drugs that they've recovered so far that I've personally seen.
How are y'all developed in this location?
This has been a long-term investigation by DEA and a number of our federal partners. And so we've been working on this underground nightclub for a number of months, doing undercover, surveillance, a lot of other work to identify what's going on here. And again, you know, months-long information about drug trafficking and prostitution happening inside.
So you said there were 300 total law enforcement. How many people were actually inside of this underground nightclub?
We estimate over 200 people were inside the nightclub when we came here.
They probably came early.
That's why we needed such a large force. You know, anytime you're dealing with
Most of these things, it really don't start getting popping until later on into the night. So they probably came early. It's a lot of other people that should probably be arrested in this situation also.
that many people, we want to do it safely, and that's what we did.
Because of the nature of the nightclub, are all of them facing charges? Everyone inside?
No, they're not. A lot of people were turned away. As I said, over 100 went into ICE custody. A few people went on state arrest warrants. They had outstanding warrants. And we actually have a few other operations pending right now across the city. We're waiting to determine if there'll be other arrests from those.
Did you guys face any media threats going in, or was everything just a smooth operation going in and out?
Media threats.
Taken care of?
Anytime there's 200 people, there's going to be a little bit of concern about safety, but overall it was a safe operation.
Was TDA present here?
In our investigation, we have noticed TDA, MS-13, and I believe Hell's Angels in this club. I don't have the information about whether those members were there tonight, but
So you had the MS-13 and the biker gang, Hell's Angels, all commingling. I mean, hey, like minds think alike. Birds of a feather run. Will flock together.
we're still working through a lot of that because we have so many people in custody. We're working through a lot of the information about who's who.
Jonathan, after the raid in Adams County back in January, you received criticism because you didn't have arrests. You talked about the cops went in, the drugs went to the ground. Are you expecting to be criticized here, and how do you address those critics now?
So DEA is going to continue to work to keep our community safe, no matter what the criticism is, right? We are not going to accept drug trafficking and prostitution in our cities. And so absolutely Colorado Springs is waking up to a safer city this Sunday morning.
Can you talk to us about the local assistance and, you know, how that all played out?
Absolutely. We had over 10
These reporters need some better questions on the low.
federal agencies in support of this operation, but we also had Colorado Springs PD and El Paso County Sheriff's Office supporting us.
So again, if you talk to liberals, then every person that's over here, and we need to go through with a scalpel instead of making sure that we address this for what it is. We got to give our law enforcement, our drug enforcement, the ICE, everybody, immigration, customs, everything. Everybody needs a round of applause on this situation.
I'm with you, Antoine. We got to give those fighting criminals the support they deserve and need. That's just what it is.